Welcome back to today's Explainer. We are officially on day 2 of our 30-day English-speaking challenge. Now, yesterday, we laid down some serious groundwork to stop that habit of translating in your head. But today we're taking a massive leap forward. We're shifting you from just translating to speaking naturally and authentically. Seriously, if you've ever felt completely stuck or frozen when meeting someone new, well, you're exactly where you need to be right now.
So let's just dive right into it. The dreaded question, can you tell me about yourself? It sounds so simple, right? Yet it makes so many of us freeze up. You get that deer in the headlights look and your confidence just evaporates. But why does that happen? Well, it's usually not because you don't know who you are. It's because you're desperately trying to recall this perfectly memorized paragraph. And here's the trap with that. The absolute second you forget just one single word of that script, the whole thing falls apart and your confidence drops to zero. But hey, today we're going to fix that for sure.
All right, here is our roadmap for today's Explainer. We'll be covering how to build your introduction, the shadowing technique, some crucial vocabulary and pronunciation, the verb to be, and finally, your 30-second mission. Let's get into it.
Kicking things off with Section 1, Build Your Introduction. Let's look at how we can build a really strong foundation, just one idea at a time, completely ditching the memorization.
I want you to think of your introduction kind of like building a house. You'd never try to build the roof, the walls, and the floor all at the exact same time, right? That would be chaotic. Instead, you lay one conversational brick at a time. You start with your name. I'm Rahul. Next brick, your location. I live in Delhi. Then you add your profession. I'm a college student. Throw in your interests. I love watching documentaries. And finally, top it all off with your goal. I'm learning English because I want to communicate confidently. Notice how none of those individual sentences are complex at all, but when you stack them together, brick by brick, they form a solid, confident, and completely natural introduction. You see, confidence doesn't come from using big fancy words, it comes from speaking clearly and honestly about who you are.
Moving on to Section 2, the shadowing technique. Now that we've got our building blocks ready, let's explore exactly how to make those conversational bricks sound absolutely fantastic.
So, the strategy of repetition is an absolute game changer here. The shadowing technique isn't just about mindlessly parroting words back. It's a super active exercise. Here's how it works. You listen to a native speaker and you repeat the passage exactly 3 times, but you focus on a different layer each time. The first time through, you're hyper-focused on pronunciation, really getting those sounds right. The second time, you tune into the rhythm and the pauses, kind of feeling the natural music of the language. And then, for that third time, you visualize. You literally imagine you're looking a real person in the eye and introducing yourself. By layering these 3 steps, you're actively training your brain and your mouth to work together seamlessly. Which brings us to Section 3, Vocabulary and Pronunciation. Knowing which words to use and exactly how to emphasize them is crucial, so let's run through some rapid-fire rules.
Okay, let's look at a few simple yet highly effective power words for your intro toolkit. We'll start right at the beginning with introduce. Using this word sets a polite, welcoming tone right out of the gate, like in that classic phrase, "Let me introduce myself."
Now, once you've introduced yourself, the ultimate goal is to feel confident, right? This word represents that incredibly grounded feeling of just being sure of yourself. For example, she speaks confidently during interviews. That is the exact feeling we're building for you today.
Then we have goal. A fantastic way to add some real depth to your intro is mentioning a goal, something you specifically want to achieve. Saying something like, "My goal is to become fluent in English," well, that shows ambition, and it gives the other person a really great follow-up topic to ask you about. And how exactly do you reach that goal? By developing a skill. It's so important to remember that speaking English is a learned skill, not some magical innate talent. Just like riding a bike, it takes practice, repetition, and a few wobbles before you're cruising along smoothly.
Because ultimately, mastering this skill is a journey. This word perfectly describes the long, rewarding process of improving over time. Learning a language definitely isn't an overnight event. Actually, I highly recommend taking a quick moment later today to write down just one sentence for each of these 5 power words. It really helps lock them in.
Now let's talk about how we actually say those words using sentence stress. Without stress, honestly, you sound a bit robotic, like, "I am a college student." But native speakers emphasize the meaning-heavy words. Notice how it flows so much better when you say, "I'm a college student." You can hear the difference, right? Let's look at one more example. Instead of a flat, monotone delivery, practice emphasizing the bold, meaning-heavy words louder and clearer in your mind. It transforms into, my goal is to speak English confidently. This simple little trick of sentence stress will instantly make your English sound remarkably more natural and dynamic. It's a real game changer.
All right, moving into section 4, the verb to be. Let's transition over to our grammar corner for a really quick tune-up to smooth out your everyday English.
So, notice how native speakers naturally smooth out their everyday English by using contractions. They pretty much abandon the formal, I am a student, in favor of the much more conversational, I'm a student. She's a teacher smoothly becomes, she's a teacher. And they are friends becomes, they're friends. Embracing these contractions is literally the fastest way to make your spoken English sound less like you're reading from a textbook and way more conversational.
And here we are at Section 5, your 30-second mission. We've reached the climax of today's explainer where you actually get to put all these tools into action.
Here is your speaking challenge. What's your name? Where are you from? What do you do? What do you enjoy in your free time? Why are you learning English? And what's one dream you want to achieve? I want you to pause this explainer right now, take a breath, and answer these 6 questions out loud in complete sentences. Remember those building blocks we talked about? Just go brick by brick. And here's the golden rule. Absolutely do not worry about being perfect. Your only goal right now is simply to speak without stopping.
Okay, once you've practiced that, here is your official mission for today. I want you to pull out your phone and record a 30-second introduction. But, and this is a big but, you cannot read from a piece of paper and you cannot use a memorized script. Just speak naturally using those blocks we just discussed. When you're done, play it back, but listen without judgment, okay? Don't be harsh on yourself. Just act as an observer and ask yourself, was my voice clear? Did I speak slowly enough? Did I pause too much? Simply notice one single thing that you can improve for tomorrow. That's it.
I want to leave you with this incredibly empowering thought as we wrap up today. Every single confident speaker that you admire was once a beginner. They stumbled, they made mistakes, but they kept introducing themselves. Your English doesn't have to impress everyone. It just has to help people understand you. Real communication is entirely about connection, not perfection. So keep practicing. Keep laying those conversational bricks, because tomorrow, in day 3, we're going to tackle how to ask questions naturally. Until then, I want you to ask yourself, are you speaking to put on a performance, or are you speaking to truly connect with the person right in front of you? Think about that for a bit, and I'll see you in the next explainer.